Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show. I am MKT. He's Gareth Cliff. Welcome to it. We're going to talk a little bit of Liverpool tonight. Man City play United, of course. And we'll finish off with a bit of winner's mentality in the north of London. Welcome to it. I'm MKT Inspires on social media. Otherwise, Cliff Central Sport on all social media platforms. Cliff C Sport on the Tweet Monster. On the 6th, 6th of January, the 21st year after 2000. So congratulations on surviving a pandemic, surviving a terrible relationship last year. What else? Being a Man United fan for the last 7 years. You know, these are the things that you got to celebrate these things. Big up to all of you. Great day today. Nice to have rain where I live. I hope you guys are safe wherever you are. If you're in the UK, back in lockdown, these are incredible times to be alive. But hey, thank goodness, the Premier League's found a way. The NFL, by the way, it is incredible. They completed, I think, 264 games without sort of reschedules here and there, but they didn't miss a beat. So just incredible what they've done. The Premier League's been incredible. So it's great to have elite sport, man. And with no bubbles, I don't know how they're doing it. So shout out to the players, shout out to the leagues, and testament to science. So as a sports fan, I'm delighted. Real life's hard enough, but to have sports back is an awesome thing. So great to have that back. Great to have boxing back. That was phenomenal on the weekend. For those of you that managed to see the fight on the weekend, phenomenal stuff. All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with Liverpool. And so, look, I always know people that are a mess in life, and we'll start off with this. So, by the way, MKT here. I know when people are a mess because they generally, when you're around them, are talking about other people. All right? They never talk about their own lives. It's because it's always easier to talk about someone else's problems. When you have real problems, it's other people's problems are always easier, right? So it's always easier to bring up she's this, he's that. So I know when people are a mess. I know. It's like, and then I got to be like, nah. I'm going to get away from this. What I don't understand, yesterday, Jurgen Klopp comes out, starts talking about Man United's penalties when they lost, was 2 days ago, Southampton. And I saw him talking about Man United have got more penalties since he arrived. Why is he talking about that? What on earth has that got to do with the fact that they've been awful in the last 2 games? Awful, like awful. Why is he talking about Man United's penalty situation? Deal with your own business. And, you want to leave that to other people to talk about that. But here's what I think that they're starting to unravel. But I like Jurgen Klopp. But that kind of guy he's starting to believe the hype a bit. Jurgen, you're not a legend yet. Like when Fergie was doing that, that's cool. Like Fergie time, mind games. He's like 7 or 8 titles in, a treble in, 3-peat in, is Jurgen Klopp. I think what's starting to happen is a mix of 2 terrible things. Number one, he's starting to buy the hype around himself. And I think that's wrong. But even worse, I think he's starting to think he's a legend in the Premier League context. He is not a legend. He's got 1 Premier League title and 1 Champions League title. No doubles, by the way. Still hasn't won a League Cup. Still hasn't won an FA Cup. So he hasn't done anything historic. So this idea that Jurgen Klopp, I think this type of talk, we used to hear it from Fergie, but Fergie's got cachet in the bank. Listen, the more you've done in life, the more you can talk, right? So when Fergie was doing it, no problem. When Jurgen Klopp's doing it, sorry, son. I mean, really, let's look at the record. He's in his 5th year, 1 title, 1 Champions League. They've spent a truckload of money. So he's got no excuses not to have won more. I don't like it. Folks, when people start talking about other people's problems, when you hear couples that talk about other couples, it's over for them. I'm telling you right now, I said it at the beginning of the season, but I'm dead sure now Liverpool are unraveling. 1 title, 1 Champions League, Jurgen Klopp starting to believe the hype. Please, do us a favor. You're not Alex Ferguson. You're not Wenger. You're not Mourinho. You've done nothing that's reshaped the Premier League's history. Don't believe your own hype. There's nothing worse than believing your own hype. Let other people hype you up. Let other people fight your cause until you're 3, 4 league titles in. Mourinho, Wenger, Fergie. Then we don't mind. But that sounded like a big baby who, here's the thing. When children get caught lying, is they give it like a whole speech, right? They're terrible liars. Children are terrible liars. They say too much. Like Jurgen Klopp, you know how is lying? It's not about United getting penalties. It's about, oh my God, we're unraveling. I've got to divert their attention. So I didn't like that look. If I'm a Liverpool fan, listen, it's been a fun ride. And I said to you, it's not a dynasty, so get over that, right? 1 title, 1 Champions League, those were in separate seasons. It's not historic. So it's not a dynasty. Really, all you are is a Champions League away from being a modern-day Leicester, right? Is Leicester won a league title. So it's not historic. It's not a dynasty. You have not reshaped anything. It's been a fun ride, but people like Jurgen Klopp, I said at the beginning of the season, that type of persona, that's going to wear people down, right? Is also, Klopp's been brought in and he's been a bit of a quick fix guy. It's not like Fergie where it was he built the club around himself and then he built the club to be sustainable. Like Klopp was come in, spend money, and let's get it right. And he's high intensity. That wears on people, folks. I don't care where you are in life. In life, they call, there's 2 different personality types in every situation. And we all know these people, right? In conflict, or when things are going well. There are agitators and there are lubricators in every social situation, right? Jurgen Klopp is most definitely an agitator, right? He's got to catalyze. Well, in chemistry, you speak of sort of catalyzing something to get a result. So he's a catalyst. And that's not always comfortable for anybody. And generally, catalysts in life they got a short lifespan, especially if that's their only modus operandi. On. Listen, fun ride. It's over. 2 seasons. It was great. It was great to watch. Listen, you cannot hate Liverpool. They've been outstanding over the last 2 years. It's been a fun ride. It's over. Let it go. But what I saw in that, start talking about Man United's penalties. I mean, do me a favor. You can't beat Southampton? Really? You can't beat West Brom? Really? And that's United's fault. Yeah, well, I don't know. But I told you since the beginning of the season, they aren't making top 4. That is not happening. And I think you've seen in the last 2, they are jaded. That is a tired team and physically tired, but they're tired of one another. Because it's winning is a hard business, people. We'll talk a little bit about that later when we close off. So Liverpool, good times are gone. Listen, it's 1 title in 30 years either. I don't want any Liverpool fan acting like boo-hoo. It's so sad that we're not winning anymore. It's just back to normal. Right? It's an anomaly. It's about Chelsea and Man City and maybe Man United are back. I don't think so. It'll be Chelsea, Man City again, the most dominant teams of the last decade. Simple as. They've spent the money. They've got managers in place. They've got structures in place. Liverpool are at the end of their cycle. But it's been fun and they've been brilliant. Jurgen Klopp, not a legend, not a dynasty. It's all over. All right. Speaking of the other side of that argument, City United tonight. Man City are the best team in England. I think that very much is clear. I said at the beginning of the season they'll win the league, and I still think that. I think they're going to cruise the league. I don't think they're going to win it now. They're going to cruise the league. They'll start a B team tonight with Aguero, Mahrez, Mendy, Ferran Torres, and Fernandinho. That's their B team. Those are guys that are coming off the bench because other guys are better than them. I'll read that again. Aguero, I believe the 2nd or 3rd greatest striker in Premier League history. I think the 3rd greatest striker in Premier League history. Riyad Mahrez was the player of the season, only 3 seasons ago, and he's still in his peak. Mendy, for all of his problems, I don't love his character now. I think he's Paul Pogba with the left foot. I hate that. There is no character there. It's his 3rd time now with lockdown problems, indiscretions. I don't like it. I like grown-ups, but the talent is off the charts. Right? He is an absolute dynamo down the left. Ferran Torres might be the fastest player in the Premier League. He is, by the way, we haven't seen him. He's 20 years old. He is scary. I hadn't seen him. He's got terrific physique. He reminds me of a young Cristiano Ronaldo, just with the physique, not playing style. Although the playing style is quite similar, direct pace and power. And he is something. The pace is freakish. Ferran Torres, one to look out for. Fernandinho, I mean, outside of Makelele, you'd have to say he's top 3 or 4 best defensive midfielders the league's ever seen. So that's their B team. That's going to be scary. They've got the best player, best coach on earth, the best players. And I think now they've got something to prove. Pep's got something to prove. He's hungry again. People say, okay, after 3 seasons, he goes. He's a money manager, blah, blah, blah. He'll want to show that for the first time in his career, I can recycle a dynasty and win again and go again. Because that's the one criticism of Pep, is that he's always come in, spent big money, and walked out the door once that dynasty's over. So he's refreshed. He's gotten rid of a lot of legends. David Silva's gone now. Vincent Kompany's gone. Fernandinho's, at the end of things. Yaya Toure is gone. This is a rebuild. Aguero's on his last legs. So Pep's got plenty to prove. I think now, and you can see Diaz is starting to settle in. Jesus, I think, is starting to settle in beautifully. Bernardo Silva is starting to step into. So we've gone from Dilva to Bilva. Bernardo Silva is stepping in from the legendary David Silva. I think that's going to be a scary thing. Gundogan, those injuries have are aside now and subsided, and he's starting to become a serious player. I mean, he tore Chelsea apart. And then you still got De Bruyne at his peak. De Bruyne is not going anywhere. He's got 4 or 5 years. I think De Bruyne probably is more of a support player, and you build it around everybody else. John Stones has come in and been brilliant. This team's on fire. But let me tell you what United have to prove tonight. I think the one guy you want to watch tonight is Paul Pogba. Here's his chance, because all of United's best performances have been without him. I think tonight it's his chance to say, you know what, in the big games, I can take control. I still matter at this football club. I still matter in this league. Here's the reason you paid a world record signing fee. And also, in these big games, if he's advertising for a PSG, a Real Madrid, I don't know who else would want him. I don't think he'd fit in at Bayern Munich with that culture. Plus, they've already got Kimmich, and they've got enough going on there. So I think Barcelona, it's not for him, because Barcelona doesn't like that personality. You're seeing it with Dembele. I think they really like their own guys out of their own system. And you saw with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, that didn't work. And Paul Pogba's probably twice the mess socially that Zlatan brings. He brings a lot with him, but Zlatan brings more ability and accountability, and probably has more in the bank, right? There's more credibility with Zlatan. Pogba hasn't really done much in his career as the main man, and Barcelona wouldn't love that. So if Pogba wants to say, hey, I'm still the guy, these are the types of moments where you can justify earning £500,000 at PSG. Let them pay that money for you. Real Madrid, they'll pay that money for you. But you still need to show them. The Instagram and the shirt sales, that's nice. But at a certain point, it's about what's on the field. And by the way, Real Madrid are used to Modric. Real Madrid are used to Toni Kroos. They're used to Casemiro. So if you're going to come in there, you better have shown us that big moments you won't run. And we can't have Paul Pogba being a sideshow to Bruno. Tonight's his chance to be the protagonist, if you will. So that's one thing. Ollie needs to get over the semi-final hump. Right? This is going to be his third one. He fails tonight. It stops being a blip. It becomes a trend. And that's a problem. Because winning, folks, if you've never played sport before, winning is never about the outcome. Right? It's a process thing. And a huge, I'd say, through my experience in life and in sport, is winning is 90% mentality. And once things go from a blip to a trend, you start to think, we can't do it. United get beaten again tonight. Ollie's the semi-final guy. Happened to Michael Ballack. I mean, Ballack went to, 3 major finals in his international career, and I just think in the end he believed he'll never get there. This is big for Ollie. I think it'll also be the next evolution of him as a manager, figuring it out in the big moment against the very best, I believe, of all time in Pep Guardiola. This will be third one. If he loses tonight, it's not a blip, it's a trend. Listen, big teams perform when it matters. Ollie's got to win tonight. Because now it matters. This isn't the 21 games in a row, whatever you want at the beginning, or what's been happening in the league, where really, you want to start winning probably in the Premier League from February onwards. That's when the league's decided. You want to win now if you're Ollie, because this matters. This is for all the marbles. Do I think he'll do it? I don't. I think 4-1 Man City. I think it's going to get ugly tonight because I think Pep Guardiola is hungry. There's a lot of doubters from last season, and I don't think he's going to be this close to a final and give him a stiff. I think he'll play a strong team, or even if he plays those backups. I mean, Aguero, Mahrez, Mendy, Ferran Torres, Fernandinho on your bench. They're going to be fresh. They barely touched the pitch last game. And they obliterated a £250 million Chelsea side. Obliterated them. It was honestly, it was a kindergarten child with a wax, I don't know, like a candle drawing versus a Monet, a PhD. It was really a child playing with mud versus a chemistry PhD. It was just another level what they did to Chelsea with no striker. So phenomenal. I think City 4-1 tonight. And I think that's going to be problems for United because I don't think they're going to win anything else. They might win the Europa League, but Mourinho's in that as well. So tonight, big night. Big night for Ollie's career. Big night for Pogba's career. And a big night for United as a whole. Interesting to see if he plays Bruno tonight. I think he might because they don't have FA Cup they can rotate this weekend. Do I think they'll win? I think 4-1. See, here's the problem for Man United is City have 4 guys as good as Bruno. So everyone's excited. Oh, we got Bruno, but they got De Bruyne and Gundogan and Mahrez and Ferran Torres and Fernandinho and Bernardo Silva and Aguero. Like you look at Man United, you think it's the Bruno show. Pogba, man for man, you know, everyone's excited about Bruno, but give me Bruno, Bernardo Silva. Quite frankly, I think Bruno is brilliant, but I think Bernardo Silva is just as good. I think Kevin De Bruyne is better. I think he's better than both of those. So you put Bernardo Silva with Kevin De Bruyne, and then you've got Gundogan. Man United don't have an answer for Gundogan. I don't think many people in the league do. He is an absolute genius in there, in that engine room. He's a real midfield maestro. And I'm sorry, you cannot tell me McTominay or Fred can live with that technically. And he'll stick his foot in there, by the way. And then you want to get physical, Fernandinho. So I just don't see it. And then you got Cancelo, who's a serious footballer. Listen, Cancelo is probably the best right back in the league. Don't give me Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold is vertical. So in football, for those who don't know, you get your vertical, you get your horizontal type players, and you get the special ones that can go 360, right? So they can go diagonally, they can play sort of vertically as well. But Trent Alexander-Arnold is your typical British up and down. You watch Cancelo tonight. Cancelo ends up in the midfield for 5 minutes. He'll end up at striker. He inverts. In football, we call it the inversion. So that, and Pep likes that. He likes his wing backs to step into the midfield, especially when the press is on. And he loves that. He wants wing backs that can play football. And Cancelo is as good as you're going to get. I think he's the best right back in the league. I do. And I love Reece James. And I think Alexander-Arnold's been phenomenal. But as a 360 modern-day footballer, Cancelo is as good as you're going to get. Kyle Walker maybe with the physicality, but Cancelo is just top of the pops. I think it's going to get ugly tonight, 4-1 Man City. I just want to finish off on this. So I think good game tonight, but I just think City will have too much. Listen, I'm so tired of young people saying old people need to get over themselves and why can't old people listen? Listen, old school is cool. Like, get over yourself. I'm so tired of young people who hate old people and hate old school and, oh my gosh, we need to do it a new way. Yes, there's energy to be brought, but there's certain fundamentals that stay the same. Leadership stays the same. Consistency stays the same. Hard work stays the same. You know, good routines, organization. That matters. That's old. That's from 3,000 years ago. Right? Business is still run by old people. Sport is run by old people. Entertainment's run by old people. You know what? Because it's hard. Because it's hard. It is hard to win. Well, I think people sometimes think they're entitled to win because they're trying hard. And there's a huge confusion. And I work in the entertainment industry, so I see it very often. Is people get this idea in their head that if I do a lot of work, it means I'm working hard. You should never confuse that. And I see a lot of young people get into that. Right? I'm working such long hours, so I'm working hard. No. Working long hours doesn't mean you're working hard. Working hard means you're working hard. So you know what old people do, those experienced men, is so you both do 12 hours. He's actually doing 9.5 hours of productive work. You're just sitting there daydreaming, complaining. And the other thing is young people are so sensitive. Old people know that winning constantly is hard. It'll be brutal because when you win, there's what? There's criticism, right? And then to alleviate something that I think being young, you see it with young people and they fall off all the time. You saw it at the Philadelphia Eagles, is when people win, and it happens with young people because you haven't developed the character yet, is that when you win, you get comfortable. So you're not used to winning, you get comfortable. You start to believe the hype, you buy into the hype. So you start coming in an hour late. You start maybe not pushing the admin correctly. You start not doing the same routines. Maybe you exercise a little bit less. Your mind's a little bit less on the game. You get paid a little bit more money. Great saying in sport was, I forget who it was, but he said, listen, it's really, really hard to get out of a 900 thread count bed now that I'm rich and successful, and still take the pain. But this is what the great ones do. Your Usain Bolts, your Elon Musks, they get out of bed for 4 years and they prepare for a moment. Folks, my point is this. Jose Mourinho is great. Jose Mourinho is great. Listen, he's going to be in his 5th League Cup final. Whether he wins it or not, he's great. I don't want to hear he's outdated. People keep telling me this. He's a winner. He knows what it takes. Now, it may be short term, but that's okay. I can live with a guy who comes in and I'm guaranteed to be in the mix. Spurs have one world-class player in Son, right? What are they doing in the League Cup final? Everyone's tried. Everyone had their chance. He's going to be in his 5th final. He's absolutely incredible, this Jose Mourinho guy. Written off. And again, this is where young people, we normally fail, is when the criticism comes. Oh, it's all over. You start to believe that. Because if you believe the hype, you're going to believe the criticism, right? If you start to believe your own hype and you get a little bit soft, because young people get soft, they get a bit sensitive, especially when they win. They think, oh, when I win, I'm entitled to people being nice to me. It goes the opposite way. People want you to do well, not too well. Right? If your football club right now is everyone's favorite team, you should be worried. If you're Arsenal, you should be worried because you're everyone's favorite team. Like, oh, they play nice football. It's a nice club. It's a classy club. What you want is what the great Kobe Bryant said was, hey, when people hate you, you should revel in that. Because hate is reserved for very few people. Only the greats get pure hate. Because people can't identify with that. There's a reason Jose Mourinho is hated. No, that guy's life's not normal. Most of us haven't won for a decade in life, 20 years in life. He's been winning for 20 years. He's been winning for 20 years in his life. And that means I can't identify with that. That's why people hate successful people. But if you lose, you're like us. My life's hard as well. So whenever people are just nice to you and you're everyone's favorite, it's generally a problem. Mourinho doesn't care. And young people need to learn from Jose Mourinho. He's the guy. I'm going to win. I'm going to do it my way. I don't care if you hate me. I'll see you in the final. 5th final, old school is cool. Don't tell me Mourinho is a write-off. Don't tell me about new managers. This is one of the greatest. You're watching greatness at work. They've got one world-class player. They got Harry Winks, for goodness sake. They're winning with Emil Højbjerg, who I like, but come on. Matt Doherty. Who? Davinson Sanchez. Who are these guys? They're in a final. They might make top 5, top 4. Jose Mourinho is great. Old school is cool. I don't ever want to hear Mourinho's a write-off, and I don't want to hear about these new young managers. Everyone loves Pochettino like he's Arrigo Sacchi. He's done nothing. Mourinho, first season in. This is first season in. Incredible. And here's the other thing. Spurs don't spend any money. Everyone keeps telling me Mourinho is a money manager. Where's the money that's been spent? Nothing. He's come in. Okay, well, I like the squad. Dele Alli, by the way, you think you're one of the best players? Get out. Not going to have that. I'm about winning. Folks, winning's hard. Old school is cool. Old people know how to win, folks. Don't dismiss the wisdom. I love Mourinho. I love everything he's about. And he ain't soft. And I guess more and more in this time we're living in, right? He's an alpha male as well. So he's not looking for affirmation from the world because he knows what it takes to win. So big up to Jose Mourinho, big up to Spurs. They're in the final. They're in the final. They are in the final again. It's his 5th one. You know, Mourinho's only been really managing 8 seasons in England. 8 seasons. That includes all of his Chelsea's stints and his Man United stint. It's his 5th final. I've heard of the new pretenders. Jurgen Klopp, I mean, 1 league title and a Champions League title, and all of a sudden he's Arrigo Sacchi. Come on. Mourinho's done doubles. He's in 5th final in 8 years. He's the only man to go to Italy to go and win a treble. He won a treble with Porto, with people we didn't know. Alenichev. When I say Alenichev to you, who is that? You have no idea who Alenichev is. Carlos Alberto. You've got no clue who that is. Manish. If I say Manish to young people, who? Mourinho's phenomenal, folks. Stop dismissing old managers and stop dismissing old people. Hey, you work at a great company. There's a reason your CEO is a CEO. Absolutely brilliant. All right, finish off with some comments. Can't wait for the game tonight, by the way. Singanga85 says, Davinson Sanchez. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? It's crazy. It is crazy. Jose is doing a great job. Jesse Randolph, big Arsenal fan, says, I'm scared of Spurs. Mourinho has something to prove. He does. And here's what should really scare everybody. We'll chat about it later in the week, is Mourinho is better always in his 2nd season. Always. Because Mourinho isn't like, he's not going to do it the Emre way. He's not going to do it the Arteta way. He's not going to do it the Lampard way, trust me, at the end of the season, 7 or 8 people are out at Spurs come this week, this end of season. I mean, Dele Alli, if you're a Premier League fan, 2 years ago, they'd convinced us, the British media and maybe even some Spurs fans, they'd convinced me that he was Kaká. Right? They did their best to tell me that Dele Alli was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Jose Mourinho, a season in, says, that's not going to work. See, there's a reason why Pogba didn't work with Mourinho. Right? It's the exact clash of culture, I'm telling you, is that all the new kids, Pogba wants to be on Instagram and look like he's winning. Jose Mourinho wants to win. You know, in chemistry, we speak of substance over form, or form over substance, right? So not what it's like. The form of something is what does it look like? The substance is what is it actually? Paul Pogba looks like he's winning, right? He's got all the endorsements. Dele Alli looks like he's winning because all the young kids on Twitter are telling him, what, you're the guy. You're representing the streets. Jose Mourinho's not interested in that. He goes, nah, I can't win with that. Because you know what? I've managed the greatest striker of our time in El Fenomeno Ronaldo. I've seen what proper is, right? I had Javier Zanetti, El Tractore. I had him. I saw what proper is. I had Samuel Eto'o, right? I had Diego Milito. So he knows, Mourinho knows what the real deal is. And if you don't think 6 or 7 of those Spurs guys are gone, well, then you don't know Jose Mourinho. He's here to win, and he's not here. What do they say? I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. That's Jose Mourinho. That is Jose Mourinho. We'll finish off with this. Tendai saying, long live Mourinho. Amen. Folks, old school is cool. Before you go, click that one. That means I like this content. If you don't like this content, well, move on like this didn't happen. Go back to your miserable life. You know, whoever you were fighting with before this, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But if you are happy in your life, click that one. Folks, my name is MKT. For tonight, I'm done. Enjoy the Man City United game. We'll review that tomorrow. Remember, I predicted City 4-1. He's Gareth Cliff. And by the way, let me just spread this gospel, can we stop saying social distancing? It's physical distancing if you're in the shops. It's social distancing when they tell us to stay at home, like you in the UK, where they're all in jails and their own estate councils. But he's Gareth Cliff. I'm MKT. This is Cliff Central Sport, the MKT Show. Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight, we are the hell out of here.